At Russia's Belaya airbase, ground crews worked relentlessly, braving long hours and harsh conditions to restore critical infrastructure. The air was thick with urgency as teams coordinated around the clock, each person aware of the high stakes involved. Their mission: to repair a runway that had been severely damaged by a precise Ukrainian strike. The attack had left deep craters and scattered debris, rendering the airstrip unusable for Russia's most important aircraft. This runway was not just any strip of tarmac. It was the lifeline for Russia's strategic bombers, including the formidable Tu-95 Bear. These aircraft are capable of launching cruise missiles deep into Ukrainian territory, making them a cornerstone of Moscow's long-range strike capability. Satellite images captured the rapid transformation. Heavy machinery moved in, laying down fresh asphalt and painting new runway markings with impressive speed. The world watched as the scars of war were covered over, at least on the surface. The Kremlin spared no expense, pouring vast resources and manpower into restoring Belaya. For Russian leadership, the base was more than a military asset. It was a symbol of their ability to recover and continue projecting power, even under threat. Belaya's remote location, once thought to offer safety from attack, now seemed less secure. The urgency and scale of the repairs revealed just how vulnerable even Russia's most isolated bases had become in this evolving conflict. As soon as the runway was declared operational, Russian commanders wasted no time. Aircraft lined up for renewed sorties, their crews determined to demonstrate that Russia's strategic reach remained intact. The restored airfield became a powerful symbol, proof of Russia's determination to absorb setbacks and maintain its relentless air campaign against Ukraine. Yet, beneath the surface, this massive repair effort was about more than logistics. It was a test of resilience, morale, and the ability to adapt under pressure in a grinding, unpredictable war. As the last construction crews packed up and left, Russia believed it had regained the initiative, ready to face whatever came next. But as dusk settled over the quiet runway, a sense of uncertainty lingered. The stage was set for a new and unexpected challenge, one that would test the limits of Russia's resolve. While Russia rebuilt its battered air bases, Ukrainian intelligence watched every move with unwavering focus, determined not to miss a single detail. Every flicker on a surveillance screen, every shift in Russian logistics, was carefully logged and analyzed. In shadowy operations rooms, teams waited for the perfect moment, nerves taut as they tracked the enemy's progress. Kiev's planners understood that patience was their greatest weapon. Striking too soon, while repairs were underway, would only waste precious resources and alert the Russians to their intent. Instead, they meticulously gathered intelligence, studying base defenses, learning daily routines, and mapping the exact positions of aircraft and support vehicles. Ukraine's objective was clear, not just to disrupt, but to inflict maximum damage on Russia's most valuable bombers, the very heart of its long-range strike capability. The SBU, Ukraine's elite security service, devised a bold plan, one that would target multiple airfields simultaneously, overwhelming Russian defenses and sowing confusion. Cyber teams intercepted communications, while analysts built digital models of the airfields, ensuring every detail was accounted for. They waited with discipline until the runway was fully repaired and the bombers returned, turning months of Russian effort into a carefully laid trap. The risk was enormous, but so was the potential reward. Every operative knew the stakes. A successful strike could shift the balance of air power. As Belaya's runway reopened, Ukraine's operatives moved with precision, finalizing their preparations and double-checking every detail. The bombers lined up, vulnerable and exposed, their gleaming fuselages now easy targets for a well-timed assault. For Ukraine, the sight of the repaired runway was not a symbol of Russian strength, but the long-awaited signal to strike, a culmination of weeks of vigilance. The trap was set. With every operative in position and every plan in place, it was finally time to spring it and change the course of the conflict. In the early hours of June 1, 2025, Ukraine unleashed a massive coordinated drone attack. Drones launched from hidden positions inside Russia, bypassing border defenses and catching Moscow off guard. 4 airfields were targeted simultaneously, including Olenya and the newly repaired Belaya. These bases housed Russia's strategic bombers, the heart of its long-range strike force. The drones flew low and fast, striking with precision. Explosions tore through parked aircraft and fuel depots, igniting chaos. Russian air defenses, designed for threats from the border, were overwhelmed by attacks from within. The operation showcased Ukraine's growing reach and sophistication. No part of Russia, however remote, was safe from Ukrainian retaliation. The strategic balance of the war had shifted overnight. At dawn, the scale of destruction at Belaya was undeniable. Satellite images showed 3 Tu-95 bombers and 1 Tu-22M3 destroyed, another badly damaged. Ukraine claimed to have targeted over 40 aircraft across 4 airfields. These losses struck at the core of Russia's strategic air power. Assets not easily replaced. The Russian Ministry of Defense downplayed the damage, but the images told a different story. Infrastructure was hit too. Fuel depots and maintenance buildings burned, complicating Russian operations. The psychological blow was severe. Russian personnel realized nowhere was truly safe. For Ukraine, it was a demonstration of ingenuity and resolve. For Russia, it was a loss measured in both hardware and shaken confidence. Kyiv celebrated the strike as a brilliant success. President Zelensky praised the SBU's skill and bravery, calling the operation a turning point. Ukrainian officials framed the attack as legitimate self-defense, targeting the bombers used against their cities. The strike boosted morale and proved Ukraine could threaten Russia's most valuable assets. In Moscow, the response was fury and denial. Russian officials labeled the attack terrorism, seeking to delegitimize Ukraine's actions. The timing, just before peace talks, added diplomatic tension, with both sides using the event to bolster their narratives. The gulf between the two nations only widened. The attack on the airfield was just one element in a much larger, coordinated campaign of strikes and sabotage that extended far beyond the runways. This campaign was designed to disrupt not only military operations, but also the critical infrastructure that supports them, sending a clear message that nowhere was truly safe from attack. On the very same day, powerful explosions rocked the Russian regions of Bryansk and Kursk, collapsing key railway bridges and derailing freight trains. These acts of sabotage brought Russian logistics to a standstill, severing vital supply routes and creating chaos for military planners who relied on these lines to move troops and equipment. Russian authorities were quick to point the finger at Ukrainian saboteurs, launching investigations and tightening security. Meanwhile, officials in Kyiv maintained a deliberate silence, neither confirming nor denying involvement, fueling speculation and uncertainty on both sides of the border. These attacks were not isolated incidents, but part of a growing pattern of partisan warfare. Armed groups and covert teams targeted Russian supply lines, aiming to cripple the enemy's ability to reinforce and resupply its forces, and to keep Russian commanders constantly on edge. At the same time, Russia unleashed a massive aerial assault on Ukraine. Hundreds of drones and missiles streaked across the night sky, testing the limits of Ukrainian air defenses. Despite their best efforts, some projectiles broke through, striking cities and military targets with devastating force. Russian strikes hit a Ukrainian military facility and a media office, leaving behind scenes of destruction, casualties, and a shaken civilian population. Emergency services rushed to the sites, highlighting the ever-present danger faced by both soldiers and civilians. The conflict had now become truly multifaceted. Sabotage operations, relentless missile barrages, and systematic attacks on infrastructure all combined to create a war with no clear front lines and no safe havens. Every domain, from the embattled front lines to the homes of ordinary civilians, was now a battlefield. The distinction between military and civilian targets blurred as the war's reach extended into every aspect of daily life. With each new strike and act of sabotage, the brutality and complexity of the war only deepened, leaving a trail of devastation and uncertainty in its wake. These events revealed a dangerous cycle of escalation. Ukraine's strike on the bombers was a direct response to Russia's missile campaign. Russia retaliated with overwhelming force against Ukrainian cities, seeking to terrorize and distract from its own losses. Sabotage inside Russia forced the Kremlin to divert resources to internal security. Each side's actions provoked harsher responses, expanding the conflict's scope. Ukraine moved from defense to deep strike operations. Russia doubled down on bombardment. The feedback loop of attack and reprisal made peace ever more elusive. The war was now a contest of endurance and innovation, with no easy exit. The June 2025 strikes marked a turning point in the war's trajectory. Ukraine proved it could threaten Russian assets anywhere, forcing Moscow to rethink its defenses. Russia's sense of security was shattered, likely prompting costly upgrades and dispersal of forces. Ukraine's success will fuel more asymmetric attacks, emboldening its leadership and reassuring its allies. But this strategy risks even harsher Russian retaliation and a hardening of positions. The war is entering a volatile phase. Spectacular attacks, brutal reprisals, and little hope for negotiation. Both sides now believe victory is possible through force alone. The conflict is set to grind on, shaping the region's future for years to come.